Hey there everyone, Redneck Brian here. Here lies the most neglected lawnmower on my property. I have done a video of this, I believe I've done a video of this, but I have no idea when I did it. It's been at least 2 or 3 years. This is a Toro real lawnmower, self-propelled. It's very old, vintage, and unfortunately it's been sitting here just with that plastic bag over the engine for at least 2 or 3 years. I believe I did a video on it whenever I last had it going. It's a points and condenser. Last time it ran really well. It always start up on 1 or 2 pulls. It does not have a recoil. Use the string that's right up there. So I'm going to pull it out right now, bring it over there, and see what it will do. It doesn't have any ethanol gas in it, so the gas, I don't know. It might start up on the gas that's in it if it has spark. I don't even know if this thing will have spark. So I'll pull it out and I'll do another video on it. So stay tuned. Okay, here it is. A couple minutes later, pulled out. Bag off the engine. Unfortunately, I think the engine might be seized. I just tried turning it over and it will not go. So the belt's not overly tight. So what I'm going to do is pull that plug, put some oil down in the cylinder, and let it sit. I got some WD I can even use, or release all, or just straight oil. Most likely from sitting, moisture, so on and so forth. As you can see, it's practically a brand new spark plug on there. Carb is not seized, which is the butterfly is, so choke's still moving. This is one issue that this has, and one reason why I didn't really want to finish working on this is it has a broken bolt that holds the oil bath air filter on. So other than that, it's in reasonably good shape. I even tried taking a wrench. I'd rather put some oil on top of the cylinder, let it sit a bit, and take a wrench and see if I can move that flywheel. See if it even has oil. According to this, it does have oil. This is not the correct dipstick. Unscrew it quickly. Excuse me. Yeah, it's got oil. And it's not overflowing, which is a good thing. And this is a 2-piece block. I believe this is a similar engine to what Small Engine Mechanic Mike and Road King, they made a 2-cylinder version. So I believe this is only a 1, maybe a 2 horse. So I'm not 100% sure. It has the manual override to shut it off. Here's your spark plug wire, so on and so forth, which is actually still reasonably good. This had the good magneto on it. The other magneto clip that holds the plug is busted off. I got, like I said, I got a parts engine. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have a parts engine for this engine here. It's complete, non-blown engine. Even have a carburetor, but this carburetor worked, so I decided to use this carburetor. Kind of a stupid mistake on my part to just leave this thing sitting over there. It was covered up a bit more than that over the winter, but yeah. But the wheels are not seized. They're stiff, but they're not seized. The back rollers, all but one, are shot. The middle one's not too bad. I hear gas. Yeah, there's gas in it. Pretty varnishy smelling gas. And it's a Toro. Heck, the whole thing on it used to say Toro right there. It's all worn off. But the model number is still here. If anyone can read any of that, I'd have to clean it up more. 1 minute. Okay, I just wiped it off, if anyone can see any of those numbers, but that's what it is. It's a Toro SportsLawn. So yeah, that's what it is. So actually I might just spray some carb cleaner in the top of the carb, see if it frees up the top ring. Most likely that's all it is, the top ring stuck from sitting, because unfortunately I forgot it had an open exhaust port. There's a muffler sitting here. I didn't realize this was off of it. This is the correct muffler for it. Let me zoom back out, sorry about that. This is the correct muffler for it, but to get it on I gotta take off the carburetor. So I'm gonna spray some in there, spray this engine down a bit. It may live. I'd like to get this thing somewhat restored. I need to know if I can buy these rollers still. I imagine you can. They'd probably be plastic. I'd like to get wooden ones. The clutch cable, I believe, is seized. That operates the actual mower. The throttle cable did work last time. Let's see if anything works up here. Yep. Throttle is moving. Also, the choke is missing, or sorry, the clutch is missing the knob that goes on there. So I don't know if this is self-propelled or not. I believe it is, because there's a chain drive right here on just the one side. So I imagine when it's running, it will operate the chain drive. So, but anyways, here it is. Like this thing's old. Probably 3 times my age at least. It's probably at least the 50s. I know Road King, if you comment on this, if you have any idea about the engine, I'll show you the original engine. It's in the shop here. No point stopping the camera. Here is the original engine. There's the original carburetor, air filter. That all needs to be mainly just cleaned up. I believe that's the original carburetor. Either the carburetor that's on it's the original, but I'm pretty sure this one's the original right here. I got the block right there. That is the engine that was on it. It had no compression, but it should suck in. Yep. So it's a good rebuildable block if this block out here is junk. So I need from people like Small Engine Mechanic Mike and Road King, where can I get parts for these? Or do I have to make the parts? Primarily the head gasket. Because everything else, I could gasket seal the sump if I pull the sump apart. Carb diaphragm. That's another part I don't know about how to get. And imagine points and condenser parts, I can get those online as well. But I just need some ideas on where to go. Quick video, there is Emily Loves Her Dogs and Emily Hills World. She has 2 channels. And Miss Shania, which is eating something. Again. Hey, you're on video, so behave. Grass. Typical puppy. She is a stinker. If you ever had a puppy, you know what I mean. So anyways, even right down to decals. It's like you can just maybe barely see it. I can see it, but I doubt the camera's picking up. Just barely you can see Toro right there. The hand grips are still good, and both of them are. This one's just a little bit loose, but it's good. The cables are good, or I imagine that I can free up this cable here, which is the clutch, but the knob's broken. I imagine I can find those somewhere. The drive belt is still good and tight, or reasonably tight. Clutch, I imagine, is still okay. I do got the stock oil cap. It's on the other engine, so I'd like to fix this thing up and clean it up, or just make it run, because the other engine has much better covers on it. So, because it sat in a barn for a very long time. This engine here also sat in the barn. This was on a water pump. Also sat in the barn for quite a long time, but it was neglected in the barn as well, this engine. So basically the stock engine was taken care of, but had low compression. And 1 minute. The dog, again. And she stopped, good girl. The stock engine was reasonably well taken care of, but it had no spark, and this engine here had spark, so I decided to throw this engine here on here. So that's pretty much it. Here it is. So if anyone can give me a hand on how to find parts for this. This is not a project I'm going to be working on right away. I'll probably free up that engine and most likely clear a spot in there for it, probably somewhere around my pressure washer. So I don't want to destroy this thing. It's pretty cool looking. I got it for free from my old school. So, okay, good news. I got the engine to turn over. It won't fully turn over. It will go back and forth, but just right near the top of the cylinder, the piston's getting hung up. So most likely there's some rust, and that's what was holding on to it. Not 100% sure. What I did was I put some automatic transmission fluid in there. It seems to have freed it up. I'm not going to turn it over anymore. I believe it's at the very bottom, and I have filled it all the way up to the top with transmission fluid. I can show you what I did by removing the spark plug. This is just finger tight. As you can see, red. You probably can't see red on the camera, but it's red. I don't know if that's 100% a good idea to put automatic transmission fluid in there, but that's what I had on hand, so that's what I used. I also had to block the exhaust port with a rag. Also, I got the little butterfly on the carburetor to move. I also filled the carburetor with automatic transmission fluid. Choke's moving good now. Leave it closed. Make sure it's reasonably tight. What I'm going to end up doing is, no red on there, so it's not going past the rings. This was a really good engine. If I can get this engine to crank over real good, I can most likely use this one. But there's where I'm at for now. Let it sit and drain it tomorrow, or next day let it sit for a couple days, and see what happens. Hopefully either I can free up these existing cables or find new ones. We'll see. That's where I'm at for now. So stay tuned for this new little project on top of the other project, and still tearing that thing there down. So that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to everyone later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.